Scaling your affiliate program sounds great until you hit those roadblocks that no one warns you about. So today, we're tackling the biggest challenges standing between you and explosive growth. And more importantly, how to solve those challenges. If you're ready to take your affiliate program and your business to the next level, well, you're in the right place. I'm Matt McWilliams, best-selling author and 4-time Affiliate Manager of the Year, and I've built dozens of affiliate programs from the ground up to over $1 million a month. I'm here to show you how you can do it too. Let's get started. So most of us that have run an affiliate program for more than 6 months, we've been in this situation where we've gotten to a certain point. We've had a few good affiliates, maybe we've got hundreds of good affiliates. And so sometimes this happens, by the way. This happens when you're at the 6-month mark. It happens maybe not until you're at the 3-year mark, 4-year mark. It happens sometimes when you hit, we plateau around the $50,000 mark. Sometimes it doesn't happen until we're at the $1 million mark or $5 million mark. Sometimes this happens multiple times. We go through these periods where we hit these plateaus or even a slight decline. So we get to that certain point and we've had some success and we've gotten, we've kind of mastered the fundamentals, right? The consistent operations, like paying affiliates on time, and actually making sure they get their money and paying them the right amount and, checking stats and helping our affiliates. And we've learned how to help our affiliates. And we've had a few good success stories, or maybe dozens of success stories or hundreds. And then we can't scale past that certain point. And I've shared my story. If you've listened long enough, I've talked about my very first affiliate program I ever ran that I had no idea what I was doing. And I scaled it from 0 to over $1 million a month in just a shade under 18 months. The part that I don't necessarily share because it makes for a worse narrative is we got to about $1.1 million right around month 18. And at month 24, we were still at $1.1 million. As a matter of fact, at month 27, we were still at $1.1 million. Then we hit another inflection point. I shared roughly 10 episodes ago how I scaled a program in about 4 years, 3.5, 4 years, from $15 million to $325 million a year. And again, I talked about the early stages where when I took over, the program had plateaued. The program had been at about 13.5 million 2.5 years before and was only at 15 million 2.5 years later when I took over. And it had been basically doing an average, of 1.25, 1.25 to $1.5 million a month every month for almost a year. It really had just not grown. And so when I took it over, it took us a while. We really went through about another 4 months where we weren't much bigger than about $1 million, a third, 1.5 million in a month. Then we started growing. And I shared that story. Again, the part that I didn't share was in that, 4 years, we had multiple 3 to 5 month periods where we completely plateaued. We did not grow at all. And that's common. But the thing is that scaling is so important for your long-term success. You have to consistently be scaling. The reality is, we don't think about this in online marketing world, but just statistically, if you have a program with more than 1,000 affiliates, no matter what age your demographic is, somebody's going to die in that year. And if you have a program with more than 1,000 affiliates, multiple people, that's just real. They're going to die. You're going to have affiliates die. And I don't get me wrong, there are bigger things, around death than the fact that, oh no, our affiliate program is going to go down 2.3%. Yes. But I'm saying, these are the things we have to think about. We're going to have people die. We're going to have people get out of the business. We're going to have people sell their business and the new business owners decide not to be an affiliate of ours. We're going to have people who decide to promote other products, and it's nothing that we can do about it. I had a situation recently with a program where, and I shared this, 5 episodes ago, somewhere around there, where I talked about why affiliates become inactive. And one of them is that they choose to promote your competitors. Well, if it's because their commissions are higher, or they have better resources, or they treat their affiliates better, or they have better conversions, those are all things you can address. But this was one where their, I think it was like their cousin or nephew or somebody started a company and they chose to support. This is an affiliate, by the way, who makes up almost 5% of all the sales. They were like the number 4 affiliate for this program. And they had a cousin or a nephew or niece or something that started a competitor to this company, and they're going to support them. There is literally nothing I can do about that. So sometimes these things happen. You are going to lose sales through no fault of your own. That's why it's important to continually scale. And so just like last week's episode, I've got an acronym because I love acronyms, right? I mean, I love acronyms more than Kamala Harris loves, what are those things? Venn diagrams, right? If you've heard that whole thing. I love acronyms. I need to come up with an acronym for acronym, the word acronym. I'll have to do that maybe in another episode. And it's not because I'm from Akron either. I just came up with that. That's funny. Come on. Anyway, so the acronym is scaling. The episode is all about the challenges to scaling your affiliate program, how to solve them. So we're going to talk about an acronym of the 7 biggest challenges. Make it easy for you to remember because I want these to be 7 things that you can take action on. And by using the acronym, it makes it easier for you to remember, especially because I know if you're like me, you're listening to this while you're working out, driving, you're paying attention to your kids' soccer practice or something, but you're still listening to a podcast about business, doing the dishes, cleaning the house, doing the garage, whatever, yard work. That's when I don't like sit down. Who listens to a podcast? Like sits down. I'm going to just listen to a podcast with a notepad in hand. That's not how we operate typically. So you can remember most of these, then come back, take notes later, maybe listen to a part if you need to re-listen to it. We're going to talk about those 7 biggest challenges that affiliate programs face in scaling and how to overcome them. So let's start with challenge number 1. That's a good place to start, right? The S. That is, you have a small affiliate base. Small affiliate base is the S. So in this case, you're relying too heavily on a handful of affiliates. This is so dangerous. And I have talked so much about building your affiliate army, because when you build your affiliate army, you have a program that is, it's resistant to losing a couple of affiliates. That one affiliate program that I mentioned earlier, it's an affiliate program we took over about 5 months ago. We're in the process of scaling it. And I can tell you that when we took over that program, that affiliate made up about 8% of sales. Now they make up 5% of sales. That's good. We reduced the risk by 3% in about 4.5, 5 months. Our goal would have been, if they had stayed, to have them down around 3 to 3.5% of sales by another 3-4 months. Maybe even get them down to like 2.5% of sales by about the 1-year mark. So again, when you diversify, it's less risky. The other thing about diversifying is just the sheer number of affiliates that you end up having when you go from 500 to 1,000 affiliates, and you think, maybe I go from 500 to 1,000 affiliates. You double the number of affiliates, but your sales only go up. I mean, I've had programs where they only went up in the first couple of months 15%, even though we doubled the number of affiliates. You go, is that really worth it? Yes, long term, it is worth it, because some of those affiliates that we bring on, they won't even be active for 6 months. Some of those affiliates that we bring on, we schedule a promo with them. We bring them on in April, and they don't even do a promo until November or sometimes next February. Was that worth it? Absolutely. Sometimes they don't get big until they've been an affiliate for 1.5 years. We've had affiliates that came on, they did 2 sales their first year. Their second year, they did 11. And their third year, they did 415 sales. I'm making those numbers up, but those are representative of reality. We have had affiliates 20, 30, 50x in their second, third, fourth years. So long term, we want to build that larger affiliate base. We want to prove the Pareto principle, which in the rest of the world is the 80-20 rule, but in the affiliate world is often the 95-5 rule. We want to prove that wrong, and we have consistently. So three solutions here. Number one, consistent, constant, ongoing, never ending. How many other ways can I say this? Affiliate recruitment. Every day with each of our clients, we reach out depending upon the client where we're at. Like when we start, we usually go a little bit heavier, but we reach out to 10 to 20 people every single day. Not 50, not 100, not 25, 10 to 20. And we will set that number based on where the program's at, what else we have going on in the program. Sometimes as we're going into a big seasonal promo, my time gets a little thinner because I'm working more on the current affiliates. So we'll back that down to like the 10 number. And then other times when it's a little slower, we'll bump it up to 20. But it's 10 to 20 every day. If I reach out to, let's just split the difference there and say 15. 15 affiliates times 5 days, 75 a week. That is pretty much our typical number. Usually falls around or right around 80 per week with each client. If I reach out to 80 affiliates in a week, I'm going to hear back from about 12 would be the statistical number. If I reach out the first time to 80. So I hear back from 12. 2 of them are flat out no's, 2 of them are flat out yeses, and the other 8 are maybe. So we're going to get roughly half of those maybes eventually. That gives me about 5 affiliates, maybe 6. In some weeks, we might get as many as 9 or 10. Some weeks we get as few as 1. Every now and again, I think we might even get a 0, especially around holidays and stuff. But if we get 5 affiliates a week times 52 weeks, that is adding 260 affiliates per year. Now, in a program like some of the bigger ones we've run, like Shutterfly or Adidas, adding 260 in a year is nothing. We get 50 who sign up per day just doing nothing. But I'm talking actively recruiting an ideal affiliate. 5 per week. 5 per week is amazing if you consistently do that. And that's about what we average per week. So that's number one. Number two, start diversifying the affiliate types. Like if you only work with influencers, you only work with email marketers, you only work with affiliates who run ads. Stop doing that. Now, I talked about how we scaled that affiliate program. I talked about being disciplined early on and focusing on one type of affiliate. And I talked about how we purposely targeted nothing but mommy bloggers for about 6 months. Then we targeted nothing but wedding photographers for 6 months. And then we targeted nothing but other photographers for 6 months. And then we targeted nothing but nonprofits for 6 months. That's different. If you intentionally are doing that over time, that's fine. But if if you're in your 18th month and you're starting to plateau, maybe it's because you're out of email marketers in your niche. Start looking at some podcasters, start looking at some influencers, looking at affiliates who are maybe outside of, the exact niche you're in. I'll give you an example. Like when we work with a company that's in the CBD oil industry, Canabolics. Well, think about that. It's like, okay, health and wellness, health and wellness, health and wellness, right? It makes sense. But as we started to plateau, we start looking at what about entrepreneurs? What about productivity? What about other niches where we can, the product makes all the sense in the world. So long term, we want to start diversifying our affiliate types. And then the third thing to do here to kind of combat this, small affiliate base, relying too heavily on a small number of affiliates, is start to incentivize your mid-level affiliates and your smaller affiliates to step up. Don't forget about a prize like, you got your top affiliate of the month, or if you have 1,000 sales, you get, this. But what about somebody who makes 3 sales, 5 sales, 25 sales? What if somebody, has, if the only goal you give them, if they've consistently been in the 16 to 18 sale a month range for the past 3 months, what if you just incentivize them to get to 25 and get a special prize? Because here's the cool thing. If they get to 25 this month, and let's do the math on this. Let's say you have a $100 product and for easy math, a 20% commission. And they're consistently making 20 sales per month. So they're making $400. And to get to 25, they would make $500. What if you gave them, if they got to 25 sales, what if you gave them one time a $200 bonus? You go, well, that's ridiculous. That's effectively making those last 5 sales a 60% commission. Yeah, you might even lose money on those 5 sales. If they land on exactly 5 sales, if they hit 25 on the dot, which nobody ever does. What's more likely to happen is they're going to blow through it and hit 32, or they're going to fall just short but make an additional 3 or 4 sales that you don't even have to pay anything on. That's it. So this is why I'm talking you into going a little crazy on some of these bonuses sometimes. B, if they hit 25 this month, they're infinitely more likely to stay at that number for the next 23 months, just looking at 2 years, or continue to go up. But let's say they just stay there. So you made an extra 60, 120 sales for the next 2 years. You paid a $200 bonus. I think you can afford that. And C, the thing is, if you incentivize them this time, makes them more likely to want to shoot for another goal. What do you do if I make it to 50? What about 100? So they're going to increase their goals. So consider doing some of that and be willing to set a bonus that maybe on those additional sales, if they land exactly on the number, that you don't make any money, or you may even lose a few bucks because, again, they're probably going to blow past it or fall just short, and for the other reasons we talked about. So the S is that small affiliate base. The C challenge here is that you've got a complicated affiliate program. There are too many rules. There are too many barriers to entry. Just to be blunt, affiliates avoid affiliate programs that feel restrictive or confusing. I'm dealing with this with, we've got somebody that purchased our affiliate program Kickstarter package, and I'll put a link to that. It's a great program. We guarantee results, by the way. We will help you recruit your first 30 affiliates. There are so many things you get in this. If you want to check it out, it's at kickstarterpackage.com, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes. But this particular client has a very restrictive and confusing program. Their commission structure, I mean, you practically need a degree in accounting to figure it out. Their compliance, I get it. They're in a highly regulated industry, and we want to be compliant, but they are crossing the line into paranoia and doing things that they don't have to do in their industry. And so they're getting no results. We've had, I don't know, 45 to 50 people purchase our Kickstarter package over the past couple of years. And again, it's a package that we have where we help you recruit affiliates. We show you how to set it. Like, we'll set up your terms and conditions. We'll get you set up on a network. We'll literally set your affiliate program up and get you your first few affiliates. And one of the things that we do is we guarantee that within 6 months of submitting your program, you will make your money back. And if you don't, we'll pay you the difference. So if you fall $200 short of breaking even, we'll give you $200. And out of about 45, I think we've had 2 people that we had to pay a little bit of money. One was like $11, and we paid it. We were like, hey, you only made this much money. You're $11 short. Here's $11. They were like, keep the money. No, we're like, no, this is what we said. We're going to give you the $11. The other, we actually paid back like $1,000, and they didn't make that money, and that's fine. That's what the guarantee is for. Everybody else has made more. Some people have made, literally over 50x returns, right? Some people have made well over $100,000 on this. The most people make, $30,000, $40,000 and 20, something like that, and it's a great ROI, but it's not outrageous. Well, this company has made 0. We're 3.5, 4 months in, and our team and I have spent so much time with them. And I keep saying, like, you've got to reduce the barriers to entry. We have sent you 40, 45 affiliates, and you've only approved 3 of them, and it's a little bit ridiculous. And their terms and conditions, it's like a 10-page document. The rules that they have, some of them are just like, why would you have that rule? Well, we saw this one program. Yeah. Well, that one program added that rule after they hit the $100 million mark. You probably need to be a little bit looser. So 3 solutions here. Number 1, keep your terms and conditions simple. Grab our terms and conditions template. I will put a link to that in the show notes. There are no unnecessary rules in that template. There are some that are relevant to some industries and not others. And so we include that along. It's not just a template. We actually have notes that are like, hey, here's why you might include this rule and why you might not. But make your terms and conditions simple. Don't write them in legalese. We wrote ours. They were by an attorney, but we put them in terms that people understand. The second thing is you need to make the sign up and approval process easy. I'm not saying that you should approve affiliates that really shouldn't be approved, but make it clear, here's why we're going to approve or decline your application, and make the sign up process easy. You do not need to collect a freaking blood sample on the sign up process. And a lot of people are like, well, we need this and we need that. Do you? On the sign up? Because here's the way I look at the sign up process. It's almost like a lead. This is an affiliate program lead that then I can follow up with them. If I make the process, if I make them have to enter information on that sign up process that they don't have right in front of them at their fingertips, I might lose them forever. So for instance, what's our EIN number? That's our tax number for our company. If I have to enter that, if I'm kind of like on the fence whether or not to join your affiliate program, I'm like, whatever, I'll join it and see. And you ask me for my EIN on the sign up, I don't know it. Now it's different if it's, I can sign up for the program and then in order to be active, I need to actually enter the EIN. I need to submit a W-9, although we don't technically have to submit a W-9 because we're incorporated, but still a lot of programs require them. I need to submit my payment information. That's all great, but that should come later. And then the third thing is just be clear in your communication on how to promote. Be very clear on what they can and cannot do and what are the best practices on promoting. So number 1, the small affiliate base. Number 2, complicated affiliate program. Number 3 challenge is affiliate fatigue. Just affiliates dropping off. Even great affiliates lose steam over time. And so there's a few things that you should look for. Number 1, look at the data. You should be studying the data every month at a minimum. With your big affiliates, I try to look at it once a week. And I'm just looking let's just look at the first 10 weeks of the year. Let's say that last year they averaged 50 sales a week. And for purposes of this, let's assume there's no seasonality. And so in December of last year, they did 54, 47, 55, 51 sales, right? And then in January, first week of January, they did, 40. And you're going, okay, well, that's, could be the New Year's. There's a little bit of seasonality. It's New Year's, the way New Year's Day was on, fell on a Wednesday. So man, the first 5 days of the year were kind of out the window, whatever. But then the next week, they were down to 36. The next week, 28. Right then is when you should start raising yellow flags and start reaching out to them about how to help. Because what will happen? The next week, they're at 24. The next week, they're at 20. And what's happening is they actually cut off your promo. The only reason they're still making some sales is because of remnant traffic, or because maybe they had you on 5 pages on their site and they accidentally forgot to delete you from one of them. But if you catch that problem when it goes from 50 to 40 to 35 to 28, that's the time to catch it. So look at, okay, are there sales dropping? Start looking at traffic. A lot of times you might have sales stay steady, but traffic begins to decline a little bit. And the reason why their sales stay steady, say that, I can't even get, say that 10 times fast, right? But the reason their sales don't drop off initially is because, again, they've got remnant cookies. And they've got maybe, especially if you're in Legion, you're still following up with their leads and making sales. So look at their traffic. Look at just the number of posts. Like if you're following them on social media and they usually mention you 2 or 3 times a month, and they drop down and they only mention you once, that's a yellow flag. It's not a red flag yet, but we want to keep an eye on that. So 3 ways to solve this. Number 1, just offering fresh, new promos, offering new angles, offering new bonuses, keeping things exciting with contests and new product launches, new banners. I know banner ads don't work great, but new social media graphics. And you go, is like new social media graphics that exciting? No, but it's what we call an ETP, an excuse to promote. It's an ETM, an excuse to mail your affiliates. It's an excuse to reach out to your affiliates. And what we've noticed is when we release new graphics, we get about a 5% increase in use of those graphics. And you go, well, what do you do? 5% one time? No, it's 5% every couple of months when we release new ones. And that's not the only thing we're doing. But we're getting new affiliates to use them. But we're also getting affiliates that maybe started fatiguing. And an affiliate that's dropping off, they'll suddenly do a promo because there's a new graphic. And third, make sure you are constantly recognizing and appreciating your affiliates. If you are looking at those stats on a daily, weekly basis, then you'll see things like first sales and whatnot. But you'll also see that affiliates hit milestones, and you'll see affiliates doing things that you can recognize and show appreciation for that keeps them from becoming fatigued, that keeps them from dropping off. Even just engaging with them on social media and treating them like a person, becoming friends with them and getting to know them. Those are the types of things, like when you leave that social media comment that congratulates them on their team winning the championship, when you leave that social media comment that appreciates them for something they did, when they do post, when you reach out to them and tell them happy birthday, not a post on their Facebook wall, but a genuine phone call or text message telling them happy birthday. When you do those things, it's a little trigger that means they're more likely to do something promotional in the near future. The next one, our L, is low conversion rates. In other words, your traffic's just not converting. If affiliates send traffic but don't send sales or don't see sales, they will quit. They're going to quit. And I don't have enough time to go into all the reasons why your conversion rates would struggle here. But here's the thing. Keep an eye on conversion rates. If you have certain products that are converting less than others, if you have certain price points that are converting less than others, if you have certain landing page styles that are converting less than others, fix it. Fix it. You need to be looking at your sales pages. You need to be looking at your checkout flow. You need to be looking at your lead capture, all of these things. You need to be training your affiliates on how to send better qualified traffic. You need to be doing all of these things. And there's so many reasons why things might not be converting, but definitely be taking a look at those things and fixing them. If your conversion rates are down the last 3 months compared to the previous 3 months, why is that? Is it because traffic's up and maybe it's not as good? Is it because, X, Y, and Z, like whatever it is, start addressing it. Maybe it's because the landscape has changed. It could be a change in, they released a new iPhone. They released a new Samsung Galaxy. And man, every month for the past, 4 months, our conversion rate has gone down overall 0.05%. Now it's down 0.2%. And I'm assuming this is on like a 2%, conversion rate. It's down 0.2%, which is actually 10%. Why is that? Well, if the adoption rate of that new iPhone is increasing every month, it makes sense. So look at that. Like, go fix your page or pages for that new iPhone. The I in scaling is that you are ignoring industry trends and innovations. You're ignoring that the affiliate landscape is constantly changing. You're ignoring that there are rules in place now that weren't in place 5 years ago. You're ignoring that there's a new social media network. You're ignoring that There are things that we can do better that other affiliate programs are doing that you're not. And that's why you're losing some of your affiliates. I mean, the reality is what worked 5 months ago, let alone 5 years ago, is not necessarily going to work today. The principles are the same. The thing is, like the new social media network, let's just say a new one comes along tomorrow and it's huge. And it all of a sudden accounts for 3% of all, sales. Uh, okay, but the principle is still the same, that you need to be on top of the new social media networks. And so the principles are always going to remain. If you treat your affiliates well, you have a high converting, high commissioned offer, you're going to have a successful affiliate program. But you still got to stay on top of these industry trends and innovations. So staying on top of, I just imagine that you were unreactive to what's happened with AI over the last few years. I mean, everything has changed. Everything has changed so much. If you're unreactive to that, you are getting left in the dust. So, 3 things. Number one, stay on top of those tech trends. You need to be reading the publications, whether it's the blogs, the websites, listening to this podcast, all these things that deal with the trends in marketing, marketing, affiliate management, tech, all those things. Number two, sign up for all of your competitors' programs. Sign up for other affiliate programs in what I would consider to be like tangential niches. So, for instance, if I'll take the CBD program, there's 100 other affiliate programs, roughly, that I'm a member, I guess you could say. I'm a part of. I'm watching everything they're doing, but because we have clients in all kinds of niches, I'm pretending I'm only in the CBD niche here, right? If our only client was Canabolics, what would I do? I would sign up for every affiliate program in the CBD niche. But I would also sign up for 30 to 60 probably. I mean, you can get to the point where it's overkill. I'm going to sign up for some of the top and some of the mid tier because you want to, some of the up and comers, you want to see what they're doing. Some of the ones in like health and wellness. So I'm going to sign up for some that are in the nutraceutical niche, but they're not competitive with CBD. Maybe they make a product for the brain or a probiotic or something like that. I'm going to sign up for 10 or 20 of those. I'm going to sign up for some in the fitness industry. I'm going to sign up for some in those tangential niches so that I can watch what they're doing and apply it to the CBD industry. Now, as an affiliate manager of literally clients in every conceivable niche on the face of the earth, I mean, I'm in roughly 300 or 400. I mentioned a couple episodes ago, signed up for 8,000 affiliate programs. I have dropped out of many of those, and by many I mean like 7,600 of them, but I'm still in a bunch so that I can keep up with things. So that's number two. And then the third solution, make sure you're staying up to date on what's working in terms of YouTube shorts were really a big nothing burger about 4 years ago. TikTok was truly, who had heard of TikTok, honestly, 5 years ago? 5.5 years ago. Like, so few people had. And then it blew up because of the pandemic. And now, but it stayed. That's the thing, is it, there's things that blew up during the pandemic that dropped back down to, some of them dropped below their levels pre-pandemic. Some of them dropped to equal. Some of them dropped to maybe 10 or 20%. TikTok stayed at, 50x post-pandemic. So make sure you're staying up to date on stuff like that. Because if your affiliates were not using TikTok, if you have no affiliates using TikTok, you're missing out. How many of your affiliate sales should come from TikTok? I don't know. 10%? Maybe as low as 5, maybe as high as 25 in some industries. But it shouldn't be 0 in most industries. All right, the end, challenge number 6 is not knowing what to communicate to affiliates. I did an entire podcast episode on what and how to communicate to your affiliates that I'm going to share in the show notes. The thing is, they need more than just links. Here's our latest promo. Here's your link. Great. They need guidance. They need guidance, and they need it to be in a format and a frequency that works. One of the biggest, I'd say the worst communication mistake I see is not enough. Just too little communication. A once a month newsletter. Like, really? Once a month and you expect me to even remember who the heck you are? No. Less than that is even worse. And I've seen it. Irrelevant communication. You're sending out stuff that, I mean, really? Like, you chose to make that an entire email? And it was so irrelevant. Too much can be a thing. You don't need to be emailing every day. You don't need to be posting in your Facebook group every day. So there's a rhythm. 2, maybe 3 times a week, occasionally spiking. Occasionally, our biggest promo of the year. This is it. 30% of all of our affiliate revenue comes in a 2-week period. Yeah, every day for 2 weeks is actually a really good idea. Like, you don't need to take a day off in those 2 weeks. So how do we solve this, not knowing what to communicate? Number 1, listen to that episode. But let me give you 3 quick hitters here. Number 1, create a communication calendar. All right, weekly, twice a week, relevant updates, fairly consistent updates, right? Number 2, share at least every third message or post should be a promo strategy. It should be something that's working for another affiliate if you get permission. Those are some of my best. I forward emails and say, here's a great email. Check it out. Here's a great blog post. Check it out. Here's a great podcast episode. Check it out. Here's a great ad. Go look at it and learn from it. And it gives them, they'll get signups. Typically when we do that with some of our bigger affiliate programs, we can look at the numbers. They'll gain 500 to 600 new followers in 48 hours after sending out that message, when most days they might only gain 100. So they picked up 3, 4, 500 new followers. They're super happy. They don't care if they're other affiliates or not. Like, they're stoked. So send out promo strategies, send out tips, share industry news. That's another reason why you should keep up on it. If TikTok, imagine teaching your affiliates in late 2000 how to take advantage of TikTok. What percentage of your sales today would be coming from TikTok? If it's relevant to the industry, 10%, 15%, you'd have been a genius. I missed out on that. I will admit that. I completely missed out on that. And I keep up with the industry better than 99.9% of people. It's what I do for a living. I missed out on educating my affiliates about TikTok in 2000. I didn't educate them. I think I did a podcast episode on it in mid to late 2001. I mean, better late than never, but I can promise you missing out on that trend probably personally cost me $25,000 to $100,000. Easily. So don't do that if you can avoid it. And then, just have multiple channels. Again, listen to the episode, but you want a Facebook group or some sort of a social media presence where you want, a Slack group or something like that. You want email. You want to be doing everything that you can. All right, the final challenge, the G here, is getting overwhelmed managing a high volume of affiliates. So growth is great until you are drowning in emails from affiliates. And I've been there. I've talked about this. That episode where I talked about growing the program from 15 to 325 million a year. When we hit Q4, really specifically post, November 15th, like the week before Thanksgiving through about December 22nd, I got 300 to 500 emails a day and probably 30 to 40 texts a day. And then we had, at that time, we had not a Facebook group, but I forget the name of the company, but it was like another not social media, but it's like Mighty Networks, but before Mighty Networks, I can't think of the name of it. But we had a group for affiliates, and keeping up with the comments in there. I mean, we're talking, again, over 200 comments a day. Now, I utilized my VA to categorize the emails. So how we did it, in case you're wondering, and we'll talk about this. Well, let me get to this. I'll get to the solutions here in a second. But the problem is real. And this is why some programs scale smoothly and consistently while others, they hit that wall. And I saw this happen. I'll name the company, but I saw this happen with ClickFunnels in the 2019 to like 2021 range. Their support was terrible and it was all over the place, like how bad their support was. And here's the thing I told our team, despite the fact that the support was terrible and things weren't working a lot, I said, they're going through a growth spurt. And it is a painful period of time. I have been there with previous companies of mine where we are growing so fast that support can't keep up with it. And this happens. And we don't want it to happen because we want to give everybody a good experience, especially our affiliates. And so to avoid that as best as possible, when we got to those really busy times, and as we grew our affiliate programs, number one, I'm gonna walk you through three things here, how to work through this. Number one, your affiliate onboarding and creating tools for them, like automated emails, becomes very important. If you onboard an affiliate properly, they're less likely to ask quote unquote stupid questions later. Like, where's my link? How do I log in? No, they already know how to log in, that you onboarded them right. The second thing is you can implement a tiered support system. I have never done this, but I know people who have, where like the top affiliates, roughly, the top 99% of all sales, they get VIP access. So they can email the affiliate manager. They can, do all those things. And the others, they kind of get like an FAQ or help doc or whatever, knowledge-based type thing. I'm going to share how I've done it. Is what I've done is when, let's say an affiliate emails. When an affiliate emails, my VA categorizes that email into, well, a category. Puts it into a category. Okay, this person's just asking how they log in. He can help them with their login. Here's how you log in. That's a pretty copy and paste email. The second thing would be, so like anything like that. How do I log in? Where do I find graphics? What's the date of the promo next week? So in those days where you get like 500 emails, 450 of those would be categorized emails. Login, what's the date? When does this end? What's the promo code? What's my link? Did this sale come through? Things like that. They're just, it's basic stuff. Does not require me to even touch those. Of the remaining 50, that's a pretty accurate representation. Usually it's about, 10%. Of the remaining 10%, we'll call it 50 in this case, he would sometimes know how to handle, maybe there were two questions. He was like, number one, how do I log in? Number two, I'm thinking about doing a TikTok video, blah, 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 blah. And he doesn't know how to answer that question. So what he will make the decision of is, I know how to answer the first question, and he'll write that out, and then he'll leave it in the inbox for me, or he'll shoot me a message and say, hey, they're asking this question. Is this the right response? About how to do the TikTok video. And he'll give it his best stab. Maybe it's copied and pasted from our FAQ. Maybe it's copied and pasted. He's like, I remember Matt did a blog post about that or something. And I say, yes. Now he's learned that's the proper response to that question. Or he answers it incorrectly. I teach him how to answer it. And now he knows how to answer that question if it's asked again. And so that 50 becomes, the next day becomes 49 because he knows how to answer one of the emails that comes in. And the next day becomes 46 because he's learned how to answer 3 more. And then eventually, by the following Q4, when we're super busy, we get 500 emails on a day, but only about 15 or 20 end up on my plate. And they are genuinely unique questions or like biz dev questions or questions where, this is an affiliate who's asking a question and he's pretty sure he knows how to answer, but there's a little bit of nuance. And also that affiliate generated $482,000 in sales this year. So he doesn't want to mess up. So he leaves it for me. And so he goes through a quick 3-step process. Number one, do I know how to answer the question? Is it a pretty categorized question? Number two, if not, am I pretty confident in my ability? And number three, what's the size of the affiliate? This affiliate has been around for 1.5 years and they've done 1 sale. He'll take his chances on getting the wrong answer, even though he's probably right 99.8% of the time. So that's how we've solved that. And the same is true with social media comments. I don't look at the social media feed. He does. He looks at it, and then he says, here's a question I know how to answer. I'll answer it. Here's a question I don't know how to answer. Hey, Matt, here's the question. Here's the link. Do you want to tell me how to answer it, or do you want to go post? And I'll go, do one or the other. So it takes what seems like, I work 18, 20 hours a day during those busy seasons. And really, I'm not working much more than normal. A little bit, but not significantly. And so because my VA team is also international, it also seems like I don't sleep, which is really cool. So again, the challenge is small affiliate base. Small affiliate base, we're going to overcome that by consistent, constant affiliate recruitment, diversifying our affiliate base, creating those incentives for affiliates. C, complicated affiliate programs where we got too many rules, barriers to entry. Let's keep things simple, make it easy to sign up, clear communication. Number 3, affiliate fatigue and drop off. Let's update our promo materials. Let's keep things exciting with new contests and product launches, regular recognition and appreciation. Number 4, the low conversion rates, the L. We got to solve that by optimizing things, basically. Our sales page, our checkout flow, our lead pages, affiliate training. Number 5, the I, ignoring those industry trends and innovations. Stay on top of them. Sign up for competitor programs. If signing up for hundreds of affiliate programs intimidates you, go sign up for 20 or 30. It's not going to, trust me, you're not going to spend that much time. You're going to spend 5 minutes a day studying them. And you should be doing that. Number 6, the N, not knowing what to communicate to affiliates. Go listen to that episode. Go listen to the episode all about that. And number 7, getting overwhelmed managing a high volume of affiliates. Again, how do you manage those? Just re-listen to that whole section because I don't think I've ever shared that before. And I'm telling you, it has been a lifesaver for me because our service and our support for our affiliates is so good. And yet I don't have to work an astronomical amount of time. So the biggest lesson here, guys, is that scaling it's not just adding affiliates. It's not just adding a lot more affiliates. That is a part of it. That's why we started with that. But you've got to improve those systems. That's why we ended with a very systemic thing. You cannot handle more affiliates if you don't have those systems in place. So constantly review your systems. Every 10 to 20% growth, whether it be number of affiliates or sales, analyze your systems. Is this still working? Do we need to improve this? So for today, number 1, I want you to pick one challenge from today and implement a fix this week. Just pick one of the challenges and start working on it this week and the next, and stay with that for 6 to 8 weeks. Number 2, stay engaged with affiliates. Remember, we talked about this. Treat them like partners, not just promoters. And 3rd, reach out with your biggest scaling challenge. Which of these 7 are you going to implement? I would love to hear from you. You can text me at 260-217-4619. What's your biggest takeaway, and what are you going to do to implement what we talked about in this episode right away? So again, 260-217-4619. Look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So make sure, if you haven't yet, you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for listening today. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing this episode, make sure to share it with them. And if you have a question, you can ask it at asktheaffiliateguy.com. Questions make my best episode, and it's a great way to get featured right here on the podcast. And if you're loving what you're hearing, please take a moment to leave a rating and review. That helps others find this content so we can all benefit from it. See you soon.